football senior tonight is number 0, Joseph Mann, and he is being escorted by his mom, Michelle McHugh, his girlfriend, Adeline Rivas, and his coach, Coach Conklin. And he would like to play football and major in physical education in college. Our next Middie senior is number 1, James Mays, and he is being escorted by his mom, Amber Gray, his girlfriend, Elanaj Otero, and his friend, Hastings Niaware. And he would like to play football and major in biology in college. Our next Middie senior is number 2, Chase Blackwood, and he is being escorted by his mom, Venice Brown, his dad, Rory Brown, his aunt, Cheryl Brown, and his grandfather, Vernon Brown. And he would like to play football and be an electrical engineering major in college. Our next Middie senior is number 4, Josh Simon. He is being escorted by his mom, Shanna Chavis, his uncle, Dwayne Bradford, his friend, Jovan Ferguson, and his friend, Taekwon Haskins. And he would like to go to college where he will be undecided in the fall. Our next Middie senior is number 6, Christian Ethier, and he is being escorted by his mom, Tina Ethier, his sisters, Johnny and Taria Scott, his cousin, Leticia Watson, Jay Scott and Ray Quinones, his brothers, Trey, Callie, Mace, Judah, and Millie, his nephews, and Journey, his niece. Our next Middie senior is number 7, Javion Roldan. He is being escorted by his mom, Sissy Roldan, his dad, Owen Brinson, his brother, Owen Jeremiah Brinson, and his aunt, Paris DeGroat. And he would like to attend college and major in physical therapy. Our next Middie senior is number 8, Jaden Faison, and he would like to go to college and be an automotive technician major. Our next Midi senior is number 11, Julian Garcia. He is being escorted by his mom, Miriam Zagara, his brother, Gio Garcia, Christian Soto, and Dominic Carpio. Our next Midi senior is number 12, Kayshawn Smith. And he is being escorted by Coach Hipsman and Coach Hammer. Our next Midi senior is number 14, Amir Lewis. He is being escorted by his mom, Rachel Lewis, and his brother, Hassan Lewis. And he would like to be an entrepreneur and attend college. Our next Midi senior is number 17, Rashad Huntington. He is being escorted by his dad, Fred Huntington, his mom, Angela Storms, and his sister, Rose Manning. And he would like to attend trade school where he will focus on plumbing and HVAC. Our next Midi senior is number 21, Hector LeBron, and he is being escorted by his dad, Frankie LeBron, his mom, Jessica LeBron, his sister, Gianna LeBron, his brother, Sebastian LeBron, and his aunt, Shady Rodriguez. And he would like to go to college and major in kinesiology and rehabilitation. Our next Midi senior is number 27, Jaden Sastre. He's being escorted by his dad, Marcos Sastre, his mom, Angela Conklin, his brother, Carmelo, his brother, Justice, his brother, Marcos Jr., and his grandmother, Ida Rodriguez. And he would like to go to college and be undecided in the fall. Our next Midi senior is number 44, Eric Murillo. He's being escorted by his mom, Annie Luciano, his grandmother, Annabelle Rodriguez, his uncle, Dowry Castillo, his uncle, Tirson Luciano, his aunt, Scarlett Richez, his girlfriend, Kelly Garcia, his brother, Angel Mena, and his sister, Emery Mena. And he would like to go to college and major in criminology or criminal justice. next Middie senior is number 70, Noah Rodriguez. He is being escorted by his mom, Wendy Rodriguez, his dad, Miguel Rodriguez, his brother, Kevin Rodriguez, his brother, Christian Rodriguez, his sister, Natalie Rodriguez, and his teammate, Damian Douglas. And he would like to go to college for business and continue to grow his landscaping business. Our next Middie senior is number 72, Christian Torres. He's being escorted by his teammate, Rashad Huntington, and his girlfriend, Brittany. And Christian is undecided as to his future plans. Our next Middie senior is number 78, Isaiah Torres, and he is being escorted by his dad, Israel Torres, his mom, Diana Torres, his sister, Desiree Torres, and his sister, Yesenia Brathwaite. And he would like to go to college and major in nursing. And our final Middie senior is number 80, David Suazo Castillo. He is being escorted by his teammates Joe Mann, Rashad Huntington, James Mays, and a host of others. And he would like to either go to college or be an automotive technician. There are your Middie seniors, ladies and gentlemen. How about a nice round of applause for all of our seniors and the fantastic work they've put in for our program over the past 4 years. And we wish them nothing but the best in all their future endeavors. And a special thank you to the Crusaders of Monroe and their fans for allowing us to have our senior night this evening. How about one more round of applause for all of our seniors and everything that they have contributed to our programs over the past 4 years. And once again, we wish them nothing but the best in all their future endeavors.
Testing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fowler Field. Are you ready for some football? We want to welcome you to Fowler Field. I'm Ed Estrada, along with your public address announcer, Mr. Jeff Shuko. Let's give Jeff a nice round of applause. It felt like we graduated all of Middletown High School tonight as we celebrate our seniors. A big game between the Middy Bears and the Crusaders for playoff seedings in next week's Section 9 football tournament. In the meantime, we're going to introduce to you our Middletown Middy football team.
Joe Mann, defensive back receiver.
James Mays, wide receiver, cornerback.
Chase Blackwood, linebacker.
Joe DeRoyal, quarterback, safety.
Josh Simon, linebacker, running back.
Aiden Barbosa, receiver, safety.
Christian Ethier, running back, linebacker.
Javion Rodan, running back, corner.
Jaden Faison, DN, running back.
Kayvon Scott, wide receiver, safety.
Ryan Guevara, wide receiver, safety.
Julian Garcia, wide receiver and corner.
Kayshawn Smith, DB, running back.
Anthony Russo, quarterback, safety.
Amir Lewis, receiver, linebacker.
Jelani Graham, running back, inside linebacker.
Giovanni Pierre, running back, linebacker.
Rashad Huntington, middle linebacker, fullback.
Israel Leifa, wide receiver and cornerback.
Andrew Smith, DB.
Hector LeBron, linebacker.
Isaiah Sepulveda, running back and linebacker.
Kayvon Harrison, receiver, DB.
Rudy Cherry, running back, outside linebacker.
Quincy Kogo, defensive back.
Jaden Sasha, wide receiver, safety.
Marquise Burgos, running back, inside linebacker.
Eric Merlo, D-line.
Isaiah Judge, O-line, D-line.
Tristan Williams, tackle.
James Paz, O-line, D-line.
Matthias McQueen, guard, DN.
Brian Hagan, O-line, D-line.
Gozi Belichukwu, D-line.
Seth Monterey, defensive line.
Nathaniel Hannon, offensive lineman.
Noah Rodriguez, O-line, D-line.
Christian Torres, O-line, D-line.
Joseph Arzio, O-line, D-line, punter.
Damian Douglas, O-line, D-line.
Liam Chester, DN.
Isaiah Torres, O-line, D-line.
David Swenson, kicker.
Jason Lichtenstein, line coach.
Chris Conklin, defensive coordinator.
Phil Carciletti, quarterback coach.
Mike Conklin, tight ends, inside linebacker coach.
Bobby Mangano, offensive coordinator.
Tim Strenfeld, head coach. Let's go Middletown.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the video. Now let's look at the real thing. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Middletown Middies. Once again, there they are, the Middletown Middies. The captains from both teams will meet at midfield. For the visiting Monroe Woodbury Crusaders, it is number 78, Troy Capon, number 55, Kamal Saludin, number 22, Luca Vanderhorst, and number 4, Jaden Medrano. And for your middies, it is number 0, Joe Mann, number 70, Noah Rodriguez, number 15, Jelani Graham, and number 24, Rudy Cherry.
Monroe has won the toss and is elected to defer. Middletown wants the ball. What side of the field would you like to kick from? Defend. Put your backs to that goal, guys. Over there. Monroe has won the toss, is elected to defer. They will be kicking off. Gentlemen, shake hands and good luck.
The Crusaders won the toss and have elected to defer their option to the second half, which means the Middies will be receiving. So we will see the Middletown offense against the Crusader defense. Our nation's colors this evening are presented by our NJROTC chapter from Middletown High School. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please rise, remove your hats, and face the flag as we honor America and our soldiers stationed at home and abroad with the performing of our national anthem by our marching middies.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Middletown football. Ed Estrada along with Anthony Kovacs and Ed Diller, along with our crack crew here at the Gertex in Fowler Field in Middletown. What a big matchup, the last regular season game of Middletown football for 2024. It is senior night here at Fowler, a warm afternoon, settling into a crisp evening here at Fowler. Anthony, what a matchup we have this evening, Middletown and Monroe.
Yeah, the matchup is very important tonight, going in for the playoff spot. With a win, Monroe will take the 1 seed, and with the win, Middletown will take the 2. This game is important for both teams, and it's going to be a thriller. Night after Halloween.
So the Crusaders won the toss. They elected to defer, so Middletown will have the ball on offense. Number 40 in to kick the football, Matt V. Butihin. And I apologize if I'm not saying his name correctly, but he's got the wind at his back, and it's a stiff breeze gusting to 15 at the 10, the 15, the 20, and a good return for Middletown straight up the middle across the 35-yard line. Number 23 for the Mini Bears on the return. Kayvon Harrison gets Middletown off to a good start. 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line.
Good starting field position. Middletown wanting their offense to start quick and hot. Want to get the jitters out, play confidently. And being able to try and score on their opening drive of the night on a perfect night for football with just a little breeze in the air.
So 1st and 10 for Middletown from their own 36-yard line. Anthony Russo from the shotgun. Jelani Graham stationing himself just to the right-hand side. 5 seconds left on the play clock. They need to get it off, and they do. And it's to Graham, and he's tackled right away reading the pass for the Crusaders. See if I can get a number there. Number 9 and number 4 for Monroe Woodbury. That's Nathaniel Shim along with Jaden Medrano, one of the team captains. Medrano for Monroe Woodbury. It's a loss of 1 on the pass play.
Good way to start for this Monroe defense. Getting to the ball quick, reading the play. Saw the motion in the backfield. Jelani Graham motioning, and it'll be.
There's a player down for Monroe, and that is number 4, Medrano, on the far side. Might be a cramping issue. He's limping a little bit as the athletic trainer for the Crusaders take him off to the sideline. A big game here between both Middletown and Monroe. If the Midi Bears win, they will actually finish second in the division and would host the Crusaders in a semifinal matchup right here at Fowler next week. Fumbled on the snap. Who gets the football? There is a flag on the play as well.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 62. 5 yards from the previous spot. Second down.
So Middletown will get the benefit, believe it or not, of that call because it looked like the Crusaders actually recovered the fumble. But because it was a false start on the snap infraction, it's going to cost Middletown 5 yards, but they'll get to replay the second down from their own 31-yard line, 2nd and 15.
Middletown bailed out of that situation with a lucky call, not resulting in the turnover.
This time Russo is under center. Back to pass off the play action pass over the middle, one-on-one. He's got a receiver in Monroe territory. That is Barbosa. Aiden Barbosa with the catch all the way down to about the 45-yard line for Middletown. It's a first down in Crusader territory.
Quickest way we've seen Middletown get the field and passing game started in a game in a long time. You need Anthony Russo able to get down the field, open up the field, see where everybody is quick enough where he's not pressured and able to move the offense down the field.
And that pass was against a stiff breeze, a pickup of 24 yards on the play. Russo to Barbosa. Trips receiver on the far side for Middletown. Russo in the shotgun, joined in the backfield by Graham. This time on the near side, tried to find Barbosa after faking it out to Graham on the right, but it falls incomplete, 2nd and 10 for Middletown.
A little too wide of a pass for Anthony Russo there. Got some pressure on him with the screen play. Monroe able to force a 2nd and 10 here, seeing if their defense will bend but not break on this first drive for Middletown.
2nd and 10 for the Midi Bears from the Monroe 45-yard line. And Russo has to come right back to speak with head coach Tim Strenfill on the play just to make sure they're all on the right page. Plenty of time on the play clock, about 15 seconds with Russo under center. A lot of shifting by Middletown so far here in their first drive. Handoff to Cherry on the near side. He's at the 45, gets a good block across the 40-yard line before he finally goes out of bounds a couple of yards short of the first down.
Yeah, Rudy Cherry right there looking like he's ready to get the game started on the ground, as we haven't seen as many handoffs for this Middletown offense to start. Looks like it was about an 8-yard gain, leading to a 3rd and 2 for Middletown's offense. We've seen Anthony Russo go to Tim Strenfeld and not resulted in the best of ways, as we've seen penalties in previous games.
Russo under center, Graham in the backfield, has not rushed yet in this ball game. He does now. Over the middle, nice job gang tackling that time for no gain on the play. Number 26 leading the charge for the Crusaders, and that's Ronald Chambers, the junior defensive lineman, coming up with a stop. So a big 4th down here on the opening drive for Middletown. They're going to give Jelani Graham a yard on that one, so it'll be 4th and a long 1. They need to get to the 35 if they want to extend this drive. Strong right-hand side line for Middletown. The give to Graham. He tries to go up the middle. Looks like he's going to be short the extra lunge, and he is going to be short on the play. No gain, and the Middletown drive will stall here A nice job by that front line defensively for Monroe Woodbury.
Yeah, what a stop from Monroe to start the game, showing that they're ready to play and that this game means a lot to them. Last week they were able to beat Valley Central 42-14 or 13, coming off of that loss to Kingston 12-10 at home for Monroe. Good way to bounce back. Let's see if they can keep that momentum up for their team, trying to get that 1 seed in the playoff spot for Section 9.
We'll see who the quarterback here is for the Crusaders. Looks like they're doing a wildcat across the 40, the 45-yard line, a big gainer into Middletown territory, and right off the bat, it's a wildcat formation with Nate Kalanges coming up with the big play.
And after a stop like that by Monroe's defense, if you're the coach, that's a great way to start on your offense, getting those feet rolling, trying to start and solidify your offensive line and winning the line of scrimmage, as we've seen in many games this season, that winning the line of scrimmage results in wins.
James Rodriguez, the quarterback from the shotgun for the Crusaders. Handoff up the middle for Kalanges again, but this time a nice job getting in the backfield. Middletown's number 2, Chase Blackwood, got back there to disrupt that play. So they're going to give him a yard to the 45-yard line for Kalanges, 2nd and 9 for Monroe.
Kalanges able to get back to that line of scrimmage, facing no loss, and looking like Monroe is using that running game. We'll see here on 2nd and 10 if they decide to use the passing game.
Rodriguez, again a Kalanges up the middle. He's got some running room across the 40 and goes out of bounds at about the 35-yard line, short of the first down. Or actually, no, that's going to be enough for a Monroe first down.
Monroe's offense able to drive down with 2 nice runs from Kalanges here, number 5. It's a good way to start for your running game. Able to get those first fresh legs started. Now you can use the running game, maybe open up the passing game to keep this first drive from Monroe going.
3 plays, 3 runs for the Crusaders, all Kalanges for a total of 29 yards, and they're deep into Middletown territory at the 35. Again, Kalanges getting a couple of good blocks still on his feet before Jelani Graham and the rest of the crew in Midi Blue make the stop, but not before he gains 4 yards to the 31, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 6 for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Nate Kalanges just stutter stepping behind his blockers, trying to find an opening, but Middletown's defense was able to hold him there for a small, short gain of 4 yards. 2nd and 6 for Monroe.
Hurry up offense here. Rodriguez from the shotgun, trying to draw Middletown, and they do. That's going to cost the Midi Bears 5 yards on the hard count.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 1 for Monroe as they are facing the red zone of Middletown as they're on the 26-yard line.
All running plays so far in this opening possession for the Crusaders, and this time in the backfield is Noah Flores. Great running attack by the team in purple. Rodriguez hands it off to Flores. Couldn't get anything going, and a nice stop short of the first down for Middletown. We'll see who made the stop. Number 8 in on the stop for the Midi Bears. That's Jaden Faison.
Might have lost some yardage on that carry.
Lost 2 on the play.
Good way to put your feet in the dirt and hold up that line. Good way for Middletown to start getting their groove on defense.
As strong as those winds were earlier, the flag is still right now, but if there is any wind, it is at the back of Monroe, who face 3rd and 3 from the Middletown 27. Rodriguez, hands off, Kalanges on the near side. Coming up to make the stop for Middletown is number 11, Julian Garcia. A nice stop. He anticipated that play. And another yard on the loss. So it's going to be a long 4th and 4 for the Crusaders. And just like Middletown, once they got deep into that Monroe territory, they couldn't convert on 4th down. And now the Midi Bears have a chance to respond and do the same thing to Monroe.
Yeah, this Middletown defense trying to not break on the first drive of Monroe's offense. And as it seems, they've held them to a 4th down here and 4.
Crusaders going to have to call a timeout here as they couldn't get the right personnel into the ball game. So 6:29 will set the scene here for you in Middletown. 6:29 left here in the first quarter. No score between the Midi Bears and the Crusaders. Middletown took their opening drive, took it into about the 36-yard line of Monroe Woodbury before they could not convert and turn the ball over on downs. And since that time, the Crusaders have run the football 6 times, no passing so far for Monroe Woodbury, but they've been able to drive the football to the Middletown 29-yard line where they face 4th and 4.
Yeah, as we've seen in previous games, Middletown has had to call timeouts in order to get the play clock not to force a penalty. And as we see in this game, Monroe has to do the same for them. And we'll see if Anthony Russo will be able to force less penalties, not try to force the timeouts. You don't want to waste those. As we saw in the last Middletown home game, they wasted about 4 or 5 timeouts.
On delay of games. But the first, they did well on the opening drive. But remember, this is a tough Monroe Woodbury team. They come in with a record of 7-1. They're 3-1 in division, as are the Midi Bears, although their overall record not impressive at 3-5. They are a player in the Section 9 playoffs once again. So Kalangis in the Wildcat formation again, and he's going to run the football, needs 4, and he's got 4. Gets across the 25-yard line down to about the 23, a pickup of 6 on the play, and that's going to be a Monroe Woodbury first down off of the carry from Kalangis.
Good way to use the running game in multiple ways. We saw the second time that Kalangis has been given the Wildcat formation, and it's been very successful for Monroe to start the game.
James Rodriguez, the junior quarterback in the ball game. He hasn't been the primary quarterback, but he is tonight. Hasn't thrown the football yet. 1st and 10 from the Middletown 23 for Monroe Woodbury. Kalangis now up the middle. Good stop by that front line for the Midi Bears. Get a couple of numbers for you on who led the charge. Number 2 and number 8. So face on along with Chase Blackwood making the stop on Kalangis. Picked up 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 for Monroe Woodbury.
We've seen both these offenses so far in these first drives use a lot of motion in the backfield to try and confuse the defense, but most of these defenses have not broken yet and have been able to read it pretty well.
Rodriguez, Kalangis again up the middle for a couple of yards, gets across the 20 to about the 19-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
Successful drive for the running game of Monroe. See if they can keep it up. Here it is 3rd down.
Kalangis this time is just to the left of Rodriguez, the quarterback, facing a 3rd and 6. Back to pass, first attempt, going to the end zone on the near side, overthrows the would-be receiver, and the ball falls incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down for the second time in this drive for Monroe.
James Rodriguez targeting Jose Rivera, number 81, just a little overthrown there in the back of the end zone. Had some pressure in his face.
I think they're going to try a field goal here, and they are. We said before, so Booten, the freshman kicker, made all 6 extra points last week. This time it's going to be a 36-yard attempt from the right hash. The kick is up. The kick is good. With that wind at his back, just getting it over the crossbar for Monroe Woodbury was Matvey Butian. And Monroe Woodbury leads it 3-0 with 4:24 remaining in the first quarter.
If you're Monroe, you see that first drive, you take it as a success. You might not have gotten what you really wanted, which was a touchdown, but the drive was successful, the running game on par with what they've been, and they didn't stagnate, in which they've seen in previous games like Kingston, where they weren't able to score that many points. Kingston held them to 10.
It's important for Middletown to turn around. They had a good opening drive that got stymied on a turnover of downs in the Monroe 36. So they'll need to do this again. They need to show the Crusaders that they're going to be in this ball game till the end. Now, on that drive defensively for Middletown, they only faced one passing attempt, which fell incomplete in the end zone for Monroe Woodbury. On occasion, the Crusaders do get run-centric, and you don't want to be too one-dimensional, and that's been the success for Monroe so far. They've been able to throw the football as well this year. And a little squigger on the near side, taken at about the 32-yard line, still on his feet across the 35 before he's finally brought out of bounds, is Julian Garcia for Middletown. But good field position to start for the Middie Bears, their second offensive possession of the night with 4:19 remaining in the first, trailing in the ball game 3-0. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their own 34.
Yeah, if you're Middletown, you definitely don't want to take that one defensive drive by your guys and let it hang heavy on their heads. You want to be able to come back, try to score quick, keep this offense rolling. As we saw in the first drive, they were able to get down the field, just unsuccessful on the points. They want to stay in this game. Don't make it a big score and deficit where you're fighting back. You want to be in this game as long as you can.
Russo's in the shotgun. We got a late sub coming in. That's Faison. With 8 seconds left, Middletown may need to call a timeout. My guess is they will. 3 seconds left here. And they do get the playoff. Nice job by Russo. But that really messed up the fluidity of that play when the clock's running down so late.
Yeah, it puts a little pressure on the quarterback and the offense as a whole. Clearly, the conversation that was had of Faison and Royal wasn't successful, as we saw.
And that was Russo because Royal's
Russo,
not.
Yeah.
Yep. We want to shout out to JoJo Royal, who had knee surgery a couple of weeks ago, the Middletown starting quarterback at the start of the season. He'll be back next year. So 2nd and 10, no gain for Graham on his 3rd carry of the night. So the Crusaders have been keying on him. We'll see if somebody else can step up for Middletown right here. Russo, nice job that time by number 55, coming up with the big sack for Monroe Woodbury. Kamal Saludin, one of the team captains, he shed the would-be block by Isaiah Torres of Middletown and was able to come down with the big sack all the way down to the 25-yard line of Middletown.
Yeah, Monroe starting their defense to get hot, and as we've seen the pressure in the line of scrimmage in the second drive for Middletown, hasn't been as successful as we saw in the first drive. Hopefully Middletown can stay on the right track and keep themselves in the game. You don't want to be fighting to come back late in this game, especially against a tough Monroe team.
And Monroe getting ready to try to rush the passer big time. Russo on the near side finds Barbosa, who's at the 30-yard line, cuts back in and takes a big hit at about the 33 from Monroe's number 26. That was Ron Chambers putting in the stick. It was a nice pickup of about 9 yards on the play.
Yeah, Aiden Barbosa just looking for a opening and gets himself walloped by the defense. It's going to force a punt here, it looks like.
Against the wind for Middletown. A little dangerous here for the Middie Bears. Faison back to punt the football. Crusaders stationed at their own 35-yard line on the near side. That's Lewis Mead, and on the far side, Liam Hayes waiting for the punt. It's a low, short kick in Middletown territory and takes a Crusader bounce. And the short kick really only nets Middletown about 5 yards on the play. And the Crusaders are back in action in Middletown territory. They'll have it 1st and 10 from the Middie Bear 38, leading 3-0 with 1:50 remaining here in the first quarter.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see from a special teams point of view. Trying to force field position for your defense, but now with this field position for Monroe, let's see if they can take advantage and extend the lead of 3 right now. See if they can make it 10, if not 6.
So 10 plays on the first offensive possession for Monroe, 9 of them on the ground. And this Middletown defense could get tired quick if they keep doing this. But this time they throw the football. A nice stick by Garcia. The catch by number 87 for the Crusaders, Konstantinos Theokis. And that ball is down at the 31-yard line, a pickup of about 7 on the play.
Yeah, good play design there. You fake the handoff and let your tight end just get away from that block. You shimmy the block off, get into open field, gain some yardage on first down.
Kalangis up the middle with the carry. Jelani Graham in on the tackle for Middletown along with Faison. And 75 for the Midi Bears. Damian Douglas also in on the stop. Picked up 1 on the play. 10th carry already of the night for Kalangis.
Both teams here making improvement on the line of scrimmage side of the ball. Not letting explosive runs as we've seen so far. Monroe only 3rd and 2.
Rodriguez on the pitch, which is a pass across the 30, the 25, and tripped up that time by Barbosa on the far side, but not before he got the first down. There is a flag on the play, and we'll see what the call is. Whether this is going to cost the Crusaders. And it is. It's going to be a hold against Monroe Woodbury. Going to cost them 10 yards, and what would have been a first down is now going to be 3rd and long for the team in purple.
Yeah, it changes the whole look of this drive. It's going to be 3rd and 12, 10-yard penalty from the holding.
Offense, number 66, 10 yards from the previous spot, replay, 3rd down.
So Jose Hernandez Rosa with the hold.
This is probably going to force Monroe into throwing the ball down the field, trying to open up the field for the first time tonight, as we saw the only attempt. Oh, sorry, second attempt.
Actually, it was his third. He did have an incompletion earlier towards the end zone, but 3rd down and 12. Rodriguez fumbled the snap, but come down with it. Still has it. Going to hold on to it. Takes a big hit. That time by the Midi Bears, number 33, Marquise Burgos, coming in with the stop. Loss of a yard on the play.
And after those first offensive drives, we see both these defenses step it up and stop the running game very successfully, as we saw from Middletown this time.
We have a timeout. Oh, no, not a timeout. That's the end of the first quarter. So Middletown, after the stop, is going to bring up a big 4th down for the Crusaders from the Middletown 41-yard line. They face 4th and 12. They lead in the ball game 3-0 on the strength of a 36-yard field goal by Matt V. Boutian. Apologize once again to the family if I'm getting that last name right, but he's a very promising field goal kicker for the Crusaders coming in as a freshman tonight.
Yeah, and even on the kickoffs, you see the kicks going pretty far compared to other kickers in Section 9. It's a very good look and success. You want that kicker to be able just to rely on them. You don't want to have to be like, oh, can't believe this. It's a 50-50 shot if I'm going to make this, especially if the game comes down to it. You want to be able to rely on that kicker to secure the win.
So Ed Estrada, Anthony Kovacs, Ed Diller, and the Gertech crew here at Fowler Field bringing you all the action. Monroe Woodbury and Middletown. As we start the second quarter, it'll be Monroe Woodbury going from right to left. They're in the white uniforms with the purple numbers. The Midi Bears in their Midi blue with white numbers going left to right. The Crusaders have it 4th and 12 for the Middletown 41-yard line. A big play defensively here coming up for Middletown.
The Ashton Capon back there to punt.
And they are going to punt. Almost blocked. It's a short kick going along the far sideline. So Middletown's going to come out of this with still pretty good field position considering the position they were in.
Yeah, the punt was not what they wanted. Gave up good field position, but able to hold them on defense and able to force the ball back onto the Middletown offense.
So good job by the Middletown D, helped by that 10-yard holding call, which took a first down away from Monroe. Otherwise, they'd still be on the possession. 11:54 just starting here in the second quarter. The Crusaders have a 3-0 lead, and Middletown with the football on their own 30, 1st and 10. Jelani Graham is in the backfield. Russo under center. And now strong left for Middletown on the shift. Back to passes, Russo off the play action, looking over the middle. Had a receiver, a little bit of contact, but there is no flag on the play. Barbosa immediately put up his hand saying he was interfered with. I think the officials might have thought that was overthrown and not catchable, but nevertheless, it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Middletown.
Yeah, Middletown, both these teams just trying to find a groove for their offense, trying to come out successful on their drives. You don't want to waste the moments where the game's close, only down 3. You want to try to put some points on the board, keep your team in this game. 2nd and 10 for Middletown.
Coach Stranfeld being a little bit more aggressive, utilizing his quarterback. He's getting more and more confident each and every week. Jelani Graham in the backfield. Near side, that's Faison. What a block by Graham, and that lets Faison down the near sideline at the 50. Still on his feet in Monroe territory. What a block by Jelani Graham, leading the charge, and that opened up the near sideline for Middletown's Faison.
What a way to start the drive.
See where they marked the football.
As we see Jelani Graham just giving a great block for Faison down the sideline, able to get all the way into the 30 of Monroe.
43 yards on the carry.
That's exactly what Middletown's looking for. You want their running game to be successful. As we've seen, that's what they rely on in games to win.
Graham up the middle this time, shimmying through that defensive line for Monroe. Finds himself on a good carry up the middle to keep it going. And, you know, Monroe had to settle for a field goal on their drive. The Midi Bears cannot do that. They need to take it into the end zone. They don't have as strong a kicker, although, you know, David Suazo Castillo from this side of the field with the wind at his back might be able to convert one as well. He's pretty good kicker for the Midi Bears, just hasn't had a lot of attempts.
Jelani Graham back in the backfield after the block and run after 5 yards.
Up the middle, Faison. Good stop that time by Chambers for Monroe Woodbury. They're going to mark him at about the 19. So 2 yards on the pickup after the 6-yard carry by Graham. So you're in 2-down territory, so you've got 2 opportunities to try to pick up 2 yards. But that did happen on their opening drive, and they were not successful. The Midi Bears will try to knock down this wall.
Let's see if they switch it up and maybe throw the ball on this 3rd and short. But as we know, they are very heavy on the run game.
Yeah, you got the big guy in Graham. They just got to find some blockers. He's going to try the near side. Another good block. That's going to be enough for a Middletown first down, I believe, out of bounds at the 16. So a 4-yard pickup for Jelani Graham gives the Midi Bears a first down in the red zone.
This is a swing of events as we see Middletown taking the momentum for now and trying to lead this drive into the end zone and end up with a successful drive. As we've seen, Middletown has been stopped, turned over on downs, forced a punt, but we've seen their defense be able to step up this game and do the same to Monroe.
When the Midi Bears have started their season at 1-5, they were falling behind by big scores early, but each and every week they've gotten better and only trail 3-0 in this ballgame and find themselves driving for the 2nd time in Crusader territory. The give to Graham off the front. He's on his feet still, and a nice job with a block from Rudy Cherry and a good gainer on first down for Jelani Graham all the way down to just about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, good way to find the hole there for Jelani Graham, just trying to gain some yardage. We've seen that Middletown, it just seems like they're playing with a little more confidence as they had a record of 1-5. But second half of the season, they've been able to bounce back and gather some wins, which have put them in the position of 2nd seed in their division.
2nd down. The Midi Bears have the Crusaders on their heels. Russo under center. The give. Nice job. Faison that time. Couldn't get a good block in front, so the defensive line does its work for the team in purple, led by number 14, Liam Hayes. No gain on the play. They'll mark him down at the 11.
We've seen some good disguises by this Monroe defense as they fake the blitz and push their guys back into the zone. And other times they'll do the same, but instead they'll attack the quarterback and attack that line of scrimmage, which they've been successful on.
3rd and 5, trips receivers to the far side. The far receiver is Rudy Cherry. Barbosa's the inside receiver. Face on in motion. Russo from the shotgun. Fumbled on the play, and the Crusaders come up with the football. A bad exchange between Russo and Graham, and a heartbreaking fumble for the Midi Bears, picked up by Chadwick Kistler for Monroe. And for the second time in Crusader territory, Monroe stymies the Middletown offense.
That is a turn of events you don't want to see for this Middletown team. Monroe able to capitalize on defense and force a turnover, as they've been able to do on downs earlier in this game. And they have been able to place themselves perfectly on defense when deep in their own territory and been successful.
We'll see if Middletown can come up with a turnover of themselves. The ball's still deep in Monroe territory, so if they can make a stop here, they'd be forced to kick against the wind. Rodriguez, Kalangis on the far side's got some running room before he's finally brought down from behind by Chase Blackwood, but not before he gains 8 on the play. 2nd and 2 for Monroe.
Kalangis able to just do a little stutter move and find the hole, as we saw on Jelani Graham did in the red zone just a few minutes ago with 8:08 remaining in the second quarter. Crusaders up by 3.
And that's going to cost Middletown 5 yards on the hard snap count. Second time tonight that they've been caught with that hard count. But this one's going to result in a Monroe first down. Now, I think the officials are talking on whether or not the quarterback kind of...
Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
They are going to call the encroachment. I think they're going to have, the referee's going to have a nice little word with the quarterback, and he is. He's talking to Rodriguez right now that you shouldn't move hard. You can do it with your voice, but you can't do it with your body, because then that's motion on your end.
Yeah, the clap and the almost stutter step of his own, stepping into it like he's about to receive the snap, might be a little too much. And the refs are going to talk to him about that. It's a fake handoff.
Yeah, a missed exchange that time, and Middletown picks it up right away. A nice job reading it by number 33 for the Midi Bears, Marquise Burgos. That's awful scary when you're a quarterback and you turn around and hand the ball off and there's nobody there.
Yeah, you got to be panicking. You got to be like,
where are you?
Yeah, where you at? We need you. Play just didn't go to plan there, but Middletown able to capitalize on that and force a 2nd and 10.
Actually picked up a yard on the play, so 2nd and 9. Rodriguez, Kalangis on the handoff. Face on the tackle at the 30-yard line. Picked up 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for Monroe Woodbury.
Middletown defense stepping it up. Chemistry, communication. We've seen later in the season they've played much better than they did early on, as we talked about the big losses, big deficits. But as of late, games have been close, games have been tight, coming down to the wire. A little more fight in this Middletown team.
See if Rodriguez throws the football here on 3rd and 6. And that's what he does. Straight back, a big rush by Middletown, and they sack him inside the 20-yard line. Nice job by Middletown's number 88, Liam Chester, with the sack deep.
Great pressure by Middletown. Successful on defense once again. Both defenses in this game have been able to capitalize on very crucial downs. As we see Middletown able to get their 2nd sack of the game, maybe 3rd, if I'm mistaken.
There's the long punt against the wind. The last one was short, and so is this one. Middletown should get away from the football because it takes a Midi Bear bounce, very similar to what happened in Middletown when they were punting in this same direction. So Middletown will have their fourth possession of this game, 5:32 remaining. They trail in the ball game 3-0, and this is a huge drive offensively for Middletown. They need to put points on the board because Monroe Woodbury has the football to start the second half. So you don't want the Crusaders to get the football here at the end, put points up, and then get the ball again to start the second half.
Yeah, Middletown, you want them to be successful. You need them to be successful. As a coach, you're hoping they will be on the 39 of Monroe, hoping to be successful on their fourth offensive drive.
Russo from the shotgun.
Rudy Cherry also in.
Back to pass. Looking downfield. He's got a receiver. Barbosa at the 25, at the 20-yard line, still on his feet, down to the 19. It'll be a first down for the Midi Bears.
And that's another successful pass play for this Middletown team. A rare sight in their game plan, but been able to be successful this game so far.
Second time he's hooked up for more than 20 yards to Barbosa. First and 10, Middletown at the Monroe 19. Second straight possession that they've gone inside the red zone, but still looking for their first points of the night. Graham on the near side of the 20, getting a good block at the 15. Jelani Graham into the end zone for the Middletown touchdown.
And what a successful drive, exactly what Middletown needed. And they score with a great run from Jelani Graham, able to get to the outside and score. And that's a whole different attitude for this Middletown football team on senior night. It's exactly what they were looking for.
The Mini Bears finally knocked down that purple wall on their fourth possession. They've been inside Crusader territory for most of the night, but didn't come across. As we take a look at the replay, on the near side, he gets a good block, and I wasn't sure who that was, the lead block on the inside, and that sprung him right down the sideline from 19 yards out, Jelani Graham. Unfortunately, Castillo's kick is no good, the extra point. So with 4:56 remaining here in the first half, the only bad thing is they scored rather quickly, so the Crusaders are going to have the football. But nevertheless, the momentum has shifted back to the team in blue, your Midi Bears.
Yeah, successful by Middletown, unsuccessful on the PAT, gives them a 3-point lead, but 4 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in this first half. A lot of time on offense for Monroe to be successful and capitalize, and they get the ball after halftime.
Ed Estrada, Anthony Kovacs, Ed Diller bringing you all the action along with the Gertech crew here at Fowler Field on Midi TV, as well as 845 Sports Nation. A critical matchup between Middletown and Monroe Woodbury. The winner of this game, if it's Monroe, they end up with the top seed in next week's playoff. That would bump Newburgh to number 2, Middletown third. And then Pine Bush and Kingston are playing tonight up at Dietz Stadium in Kingston to determine which of those two teams will grab the last playoff spot. If the Midi Bears win, they finish as the second seed with Newburgh taking it. Monroe would finish third and would be right back here at Fowler next week in a semifinal.
Castillo with the kickoff.
Long kick. It goes into the end zone. Nice job by Castillo. David Suazo Castillo, the senior kicker on senior night, puts it into the end zone. And with 4:56, Monroe will have it first and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And this is going to be a will of, does the coaching staff for the Crusaders have enough confidence in their quarterback this deep in their own territory to throw the football, or will they just try to hand it off to Kalangis again, because the Midi Bears have seemed to be keying on Kalangis late. He had a couple of good opening runs to start, but he's cooled off here. He's only had a 3-yard carry, 1-yard carry, 8 yards, and then a 3-yard over his last 5. Wildcat, Kalangis. And again, the Middletown defense, a good gainer for him. Julian Garcia along with number 33, Marquise Burgos, who's been all over the field tonight for the Midi Bears. But a 5-yard pickup, healthy run there by Kalangis.
Yeah, as we've seen, this Middletown defense been able to get to the line of scrimmage much quicker than they did on those first 2 drives against Monroe. And they're definitely winning the line of scrimmage game at this point. Kalangis just pounding the rock, as we've seen not a lot of pass attempts by this Monroe team with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
That was his 13th carry here in the first half. Rodriguez trying to tell one of his players to go from the right to the left side.
Joseph Severo.
And that's going to be a flag, and it's going to be a delay of game, so that cost them. I don't think there was a timeout called. We'll see.
Delay of game on the offense, number 15. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So Rodriguez was trying to tell number 10, Joseph Severo, who was lined up on the right side, to get over to the left side, and Severo wasn't paying attention until late in the game, in the play clock. That's going to cost them the 5 yards they gained, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the 20 as Middletown tries to come up with a defensive stop. Kalangis again. Jelani Graham holding on for dear life, finally brings them down along with Liam Chester. It's going to be a short pickup of about 3 yards to the 23.
Little things like that, the delay of games, they can cost the game. They can change the way the game is played. You don't want to limit your team with things that can be fixed and things that can be avoided, such as delay of games, false starts. You want the communication to be on point, as we did not see by quarterback, wide receiver from Monroe.
Big third down by both teams here. Middletown looking to try to force Monroe to punt the football. Kalangis, no, over the middle. It's overthrown on the play action intended for Severo. It was a good play action because he fooled me, but nevertheless it falls incomplete. It stops the clock, and Middletown's bound to get good field position here as the kicker for, or the punter for Monroe Woodbury will have to go against the wind. That's number 71, Ashton Capon, who's going to be kicking the football.
Yeah, we see the goalpost there slinging around, swaying in the wind. It's a lot of wind tonight going into it.
I think that's Javion Roldan back to receive the punt. It's a high punt coming down near midfield. Roldan's just going to let it stay there, and a nice punt given the circumstances by Capon for Monroe Woodbury, but Middletown's going to have the football 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. 3:09 remaining here in the first half, and the Midi Bears leading it 6-3.
Yeah, best punt from what we've seen from this side of the field. Middletown with good field position, a lot of time remaining. They have timeouts, haven't had to waste them on little things of delay of games, which we've seen. The communication between Tim Strenfeld and his quarterback, Anthony Russo, has been much better, much more fast.
And a lot more confident
in
games. You can just tell. So 1st and 10 for Russo and Middletown. From their own 47-yard line, that's Jelani Graham. Actually, it's a Wildcat this time. Middletown does their own. Straight up the middle, across midfield, and across the 45-yard line. It's going to be a big 8-yard pickup for Jelani Graham into Monroe territory.
Yeah, 8 or 9 yard gain right there. Middletown starting to eat up on that line of scrimmage and force their running game down the field. Even if there's not a huge hole, the mass on the offensive line will just keep pushing and use that momentum to gain yards. It was a 9-yard gain by Jelani Graham, 2nd and 1 for Middletown with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
We'll see if Middletown can keep this momentum going and put up some points here to end the first half. Russo this time under center. 6 seconds left on the play clock.
Timeout.
Back to pass. They're going to call a timeout. And the reason why they're going to call a timeout, because I think there could have been motion by the receivers on the near side because there was confusion at the time the ball was getting snapped.
Yeah, Rudy Cherry and number 0 of Joseph Mann from Middletown, a little confused there. Looked like Middletown was almost doing a trick play as we saw Anthony Russo throw the ball back to Aiden Barbosa behind the line of scrimmage, maybe looking for that trick play downfield.
Light show, professional light show here at Middletown taking part during the timeout. Middletown leading 6-3. They have it 2nd and 1 for the Monroe 44-yard line. Trying to put some more scores after that last 19-yard touchdown run by Jelani Graham.
Yeah, successful drive by Middletown, looking to keep the momentum on their side with a great stop on defense to force the punt by Monroe. And now, great field position once again, looking for the first down. 2nd and 1 with 2 minutes and 21 seconds remaining.
Last regular season game, last regular season weekend for Section 9 football. And the Middie Bears find themselves in the thick of the playoff hunt. Who would have thunk it after a 1-5 start, but they have the momentum on their side, not only towards the end of the season, but also in this ball game so far in the first half. Rolling to his right, Russo looking downfield. He's got Barbosa, but just overthrows him as the play developed a little bit late from a receiving standpoint. And when it's 2nd and 1, you can, and you know you got Jelani Graham in the backfield for the next 2 downs, you can afford to take a shot downfield.
Yeah, why not? Aiden Barbosa has been very successful tonight with 2 20-yard completions, as we've seen a good connection between Anthony Russo and Aiden Barbosa tonight.
And he was in one-on-one coverage. They just couldn't connect. Maybe a little bit more air in that football would have allowed Barbosa to get camped under it. But 3rd down, and if you're Middletown, you definitely, as they line up here with Russo under center, you want to pick up this first down first. Face on in motion, give to Graham up the middle. I think he's got enough for the Middletown first down. He's got 2 yards on the play. His 10th carry of the night.
Successful first down by Middletown, keeping the drive alive. Just a little above 2 minutes remaining.
And they have 2 timeouts still, so plenty of time from the Monroe 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for Middletown.
Want to keep the momentum going. Want to be able to extend the lead as Monroe does get the ball back in the second half. Hoping to be up more than 6.
Fake to face on. He picks up the would-be sacker. Cherry on the catch at the 30, the 25, cuts back in at the 20, still on his feet across the 15. First down for Middletown.
Down at the 12, Rudy Cherry breaking free. Seemed like no one was even guarding him and able to be a successful play. Another throw. Much more passing in this game than we've seen in previous games. The trust between Anthony Russo and his coach, Tim Strenfeld, has definitely grown. And it has shown off tonight as they lead this drive onto the 12-yard line of Monroe. 1st and 10, minute 20 remaining.
29-yard pickup. Anthony Russo to Rudy Cherry. Graham on the far side, trying to find some running room, but he's gang tackled on the play by the Crusaders. Clock continues to run, 1:06 remaining. We'll see where they mark the football. Coach Strenfeld with 2 timeouts, choosing not to call one here. They're going to mark the football back to the original line of scrimmage, so no gain for Graham on that last carry.
Joseph Mann into the game, too. We see 22 seconds left on the play clock. Late sub from face on.
Need to get up to that clock. 35 seconds remaining. And now there's a timeout finally called, but a lot of time wasted by Middletown.
They have 1 remaining.
Don't think Coach Strenfeld liked the vibe going in, but nevertheless, about a good 20 seconds ran off that clock. And now Middletown only has 1 timeout remaining, 28 seconds left here in the first half. The Middie Bears leading it 6-3, and they have it 2nd and 10 at the Crusader 12-yard line.
Yeah, when you're in that 2-minute drill and you have the timeouts, instead of letting the clock run, use the timeouts. It's smart. You keep that time, be able to use it, huddle up, get your players ready. They need to score before halftime. They want to extend the lead, only up by 3 because of the missed PAT. Trying to be successful on the 12. 20 seconds left, 2nd and 10. We'll see what happens.
And we'll see if, who knows, they may try the senior a field goal attempt. Missed the extra point, but we'll see what happens here. The Middie Bears would rather have a touchdown. I said earlier, you don't want to go field goals on these. If you're Middletown, you're trying to make sure that you actually finish these drives with touchdowns.
Yeah, you don't want those little mistakes as we saw earlier with the fumble in the red zone. Here we go with Middletown. Jelani Graham in the backfield.
If you're Russo and you're going to pass this football, you do not want to take a sack. Jelani Graham to the right. Rolling to his right is Russo, looking towards the end, though. Lobs it up on the far corner. Almost had Barbosa. I talked to you earlier. I said earlier about putting a little bit more air. This time he put a little bit too much air, especially with the wind at your back in that area. So it goes off the back. 3rd and 10.
That pass does stop the clock. 23 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10. Just 3rd and 10. Sorry, Aiden Barbosa just not able to hold on to that ball.
I think you might run the football here towards the middle of the field with Jelani Graham. See if you can get yourself a touchdown. If you don't, you got a timeout, and maybe you try the field goal attempt.
Yeah, and even if you're not confident in that field goal, you have 4th down to go for it if you really want to.
But that is hard to do when you haven't made too many field goal attempts. Russo, low snap, comes up with the football over the middle. Touchdown to Barbosa! 12 yards out, Anthony Russo. Aiden Barbosa, Midi Bears lead it 12-3.
What a throw, a dagger right into the middle of the field. You have 2 people covering that area and able to get it right in the perfect position. Looks like a flag was thrown late. Might be for celebration.
And you hope not, because I think Middletown was going to try a 2-point conversion, seeing that they missed their first extra point. They might assess this, though, on the kickoff.
Yeah, hopefully for Middletown, if you are going to try to go for 2, you do want it on the kickoff and not that extra point attempt.
So the Midi Bears tonight, my friends, offensively have shown up, because every single drive, with the exception of one, has taken place inside Monroe Woodbury.
Touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct of the offense, number 15. Monroe is elected to take the 15-yard penalty on the extra point.
And good job that time by head coach James Ciara for Monroe Woodbury. Instead of taking it on the kickoff, he takes, which would have made no difference with 18 seconds left in the first half. He wants to push Middletown back and make this a tougher 2-point conversion, because Middletown's going to just try to throw it into the end zone, I believe, here.
Yeah, they want that point back from the missed PAT.
Now, you got to make sure that you don't allow, if you intercept this extra point, that he doesn't run it back, because that would cost you 2 points. So the Middletown offense has got to be prepared that if you're just throwing it up, oh, no, they're going to try the PAT. So good for them. I'm glad they're going to try the senior, David Suazo Castillo, what turns out to be a 35-yard extra point attempt. It's low, it's up. No good. I think he had the distance, just pulled it to the left. So with 18 seconds left here in the first half, that doesn't take the momentum away from Middletown having just scored on their last 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, not at all. Middletown definitely has the momentum now, starting to cook on offense through the air and on the run game. Successful passing from Anthony Russo to Aiden Barbosa, who seems like his favorite target, as their connection has grown throughout the season. And I bet Tim Strenfeld, the coach from Middletown, is loving that.
So the question on this kickoff is, do you squib it and try to take some time off, or you try to kick it as far as you can? My personal opinion is you just kick it as far as you can. You don't want to give Monroe a chance to throw up a Hail Mary here.
Yeah, we saw David Castillo able to kick it in the end zone last kickoff with the help of the wind. We'll see if he's successful again.
So we'll see if Middletown can put to rest these last 18 seconds and hold on to this 12-3 lead for halftime. A successful opening half here for Middletown against a team that many thought would be much better than Middletown coming in, with the Crusaders and their 7-1 record, having defeated Cornwall and Newburgh earlier this year. And there's the long kick at about the 8-yard line. Across the 20 on the far side, and a nice job by the middle. No, they still can't bring him down. They had him stop near the 25-yard line before finally number 26 for the Midi Bears Prince Okoko comes up with the stop.
This year we have seen some nightmare situations for Middletown at the end of the half, as we saw last home game against Valley Central when they were up 14-0. Anthony Russo did throw a pick 6 to end the half.
Yeah. But you have to be impressed with what Anthony Russo, the cards he was dealt with earlier this year, having to come in for JoJo Royal, who needed knee surgery. And every week, the young man has gotten better.
Yeah, the trust in your offense has grown as we've seen coaching, the play calling, all around.
And Monroe Woodbury raises the white flag to end the first half. So a successful first half for Middletown. They'll have a nice round of applause by the faithful here at senior night at Fowler. Middletown on the strength of a 19-yard touchdown run from Jelani Graham and a 12-yard touchdown toss from Anthony Russo to Aiden Barbosa. Finish the first half with a 12-0 run after that initial 36-yard field goal in the first quarter by Monroe Woodbury's Matvi Butian. And that's what will happen as we go to halftime. We'll take a break here on 845 Sports Nation as well as Midi TV. Your halftime score, Middletown 12 and Monroe Woodbury 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Fowler Field here on the campus of Middletown High School. Ed Estrada, Ed Diller, Anthony Kovacs, bringing you all the action on 845 Sports Nation and Midi TV. A beautiful evening here at Fowler, and even better for the Midi Bears as they lead it at halftime, 12-3. And we're joined by some special guests here. I'm going to have each of you guys tell me your name, and it's part of the Middletown Youth Football Program. And so, you first, young man, what's your name?
My name is Santino Rivera.
And how old are you, Santino?
10 years old.
And your name, sir?
My name is Carter Lewis.
Carter Lewis. Let me put this a little closer to your mouth. It's almost like you're going to be kissing it. What's your name again?
My name is Carter Lewis.
And how old are you, Carter?
And I'm 10 years old.
All right, cool. Now, do you guys go to Middletown schools?
Yeah.
And what school do you go to?
William A. Carter.
Both
William
of you?
A. Carter. Yeah.
All right, nice job. So what teams you represent?
Middies. Middies all the way.
Middies all the way. And what's your record so far this year?
7-1.
7-1. So you guys are wishing you're going to play on this field sooner or later, right?
Yeah.
With the big boys. So what position do you play?
On offense, I play right guard and second string quarterback. On defense, I play defensive tackle. And with my friends Alan and Jonah, we're dogs on the D-line. Word. Facts.
All right. And you, young man?
I start on defense, middle linebacker. Yeah, like he said, I got True next to me. I got Alan, Tino, Jonah, Quavon, Jason, Corey, all of them. Xander, Tony, Owen. Yeah.
Nice job. And you got to give a shout out to your coaches too. What are your coaches' names?
Coach Smith, Coach Hove, Coach Mo, and Coach Kurt, and Coach Kim, and Coach Z. Yeah, Coach Z.
The backbone of Middletown Youth Football, making sure that you guys can see the Midi Bears who have the 12-3 lead. They end up growing up and playing right here at Fowler Field. Mr. Ed Diller wants you to look over to the left here to take a picture up here in the press box. And gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming and joining us. You can watch this on YouTube by going on Midi TV. I'm sure coaches will be able to watch it on halftime. I know you guys were over at Wall Radio with Kevin Halpenny as well. So sit back and enjoy the rest of the game and go Middies, right?
Yep, go Middies.
All right, nice job, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Peace. Peace.
So there you have it, some of Middletown's future generation on Midi TV and 845 Sports Nation as we get ready to start the second half. Thank you, coaches. Have a great time. And we're joined back here with Anthony Kovacs and Ed Diller here at Fowler. And Anthony, tell us what you think about that first half so far.
Much more well-based, evened out. You have the running game going for Middletown. You have the defense all communicating well, getting to the ball quick. You have the passing game with Aiden Barbosa. Everything's clicking for this Middletown team offensively this game.
And it's really been a one-dimensional game for Monroe Woodbury. It's one player right now, and that's Nate Colangis, who has 14 carries tonight with about 62 yards. That's unofficial, of course, but only 2 passing attempts for the Crusaders. One of them fell incomplete. Another one was a 7-yard connection to the tight end, number 87, Konstantinos Theokis. And offensively for the Midi Bears, Anthony Russo has had a nice ball game, 6 of 8 passing, 93 yards, including a 12-yard touchdown to Aiden Barbosa. Barbosa has 4 carries tonight with a total of 64 yards. And on the ground, Jelani Graham has 11 carries, 46 yards, but a big one, a 19-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, Monroe, very one-dimensional tonight. We've seen the handoffs over and over 10-plus handoffs in that first half. I think almost 15 is what you said. And
then also a big run also by number 8 for Middletown, Jaden Faison. He had that big 43-yarder off that lead block by Graham. So Middletown's going to kick off here to start the second half, and we'll see if they can make a statement defensively, because you know the Crusaders are coming out of that locker room. And the Midi Bears come away with an onside kick attempt. Coach Drenfield, did they recover?
It looks like Middletown.
It looks like they did. And Coach Drenfield, he saw it happen to him a couple of weeks ago, and he's returned the favor now. And Middletown, just like that, negates the fact that the Crusaders won the coin toss, and they'll have the first possession to start the second half.
Yeah, Middletown was tested by Valley Central plenty of times in their game where Middletown was victorious. And they've shot the same thing right back at Monroe. And guess what? It ends up being successful.
And a nice big crowd here at Fowler on their feet. Crusader Nation sitting on their hands here to start the second half. Look a little bit shell-shocked so far with this Middletown lead at 12-3 with Russo from the shotgun. Graham up the middle. Gains about 1 on the play. Nice job defensively from that front line for the Crusaders.
Yeah, Monroe still able to get to the ball very quickly. The defense hasn't played bad. They haven't made those huge mistakes. But Middletown has taken advantage to the ones that they've let up. And the open receivers that we saw Rudy Cherry have a nice reception that led them onto the 12-yard line, which ended up in that Jelani Graham touchdown. But they've been able to break this defense.
Chadwick Kistler on the stop for the Crusaders. 2nd and 9 for Middletown from the Monroe 44. Russo back to pass. He's got Barbosa. He's at the 45-yard line, but a nice job defensively shedding the would-be block for the Crusaders was Nathaniel Shim. Joseph Mann on the far side couldn't hold the block, so not much on that play to Barbosa from Russo. No gain, as a matter of fact, on the pass.
Yeah, Monroe just able to swarm to the ball, get to that receiver quickly. Aiden Barbosa, just no open hole or route to go to. Ends up in a gain of nothing.
So the first 2 plays here after the onside kick to start the second half have not resulted in any gains for Middletown. They have trips receivers to the near side with Russo from the shotgun. Back to pass, looking down the left side. A lot of big rush over the middle. He's got a man, and it's going to be enough for a Middletown first down. That's Barbosa near the 25-yard line. There is a flag on the play. The flag is on the near sideline near the 30, not far from where the reception took place. We'll see if it's offensive pass interference. And I believe it is going to come back against Middletown because they are talking to the Middletown sideline. No indication yet by the officials, but here you go. Now they're going to talk to each other.
Successful play for Middletown there. Nice throw by Anthony Russo. The penalty may negate this play.
So the official going back, he'll make the call.
Ineligible receiver, offense, number 11, was covered up and went downfield. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
So Julian Garcia gets called for the penalty. He was marked on the play, so he can't go downfield once that happens. And that negates a big first down gain by Middletown and brings the ball back to the 49-yard line where it'll be 3rd and 15. Russo this time scrambles towards his right, looking downfield. Almost intercepted as they tried to get it out to Barbosa on the right side in a little back and forth talk.
Yeah, Lewis Mead with that pass break up there from Monroe. Good pressure on that pass, able to stop this drive for Middletown, who just had a successful special teams play with that onside kick, but nothing in return.
So the Crusaders took one to the chin to start the second half, but they answer defensively, stopping Middletown and forcing the Midi Bears to punt the football. Back to receive the punt on the near side is Mead for Monroe Woodbury, stationed at about his 15, and number 14, Liam Hayes on the far side. Faison's kick is a low liner at about the 30, takes a Middletown bounce down to the 25 as the Midi Bears try to fan it for a couple of more yards.
Down to the 24 of Monroe is where they will pick up their drive, the first of the second half. Still down by 9.
And the Middletown defense, if you're the coaches for the team in blue, need to respond. They need to show what happens. Now, the question is going to be is what adjustments did Monroe make at halftime, knowing that Nate Kalangis has been their primary threat on offense. We'll see if they start to throw the football here.
Yeah, game plan might have to change here for Monroe. Not as successful as a half that they'd like.
Rodriguez, Kalangis with the football, and no change from the first half, and the Midi Bears respond. No gain on the play for Kalangis.
Yeah, it looks like this game might come down to the air if
who can throw the football.
Yeah.
Right now, Middletown's been able to throw the football, and the Crusaders have been unable to do that. And so far, that's been the difference in the ball game with 9.5 minutes remaining in the third.
Most of these games, it comes down to the running game. But tonight, it looks like it's going to be the pass. We'll see if Monroe can change anything up here.
Rodriguez back to pass. On the far side, ball's deflected. A nice job that time. Looked like face-on. Got his hand on that and tipped it. And that falls for incomplete. So only the third pass attempt for the Crusaders this evening. 2 of them incomplete. Only one connection to the tight end Theokas for 7 yards in that first quarter.
That's a good defensive play by Faison to get that pass breakup. You don't want anything happening. You want to keep it stagnant for this offense of Monroe.
3rd and 10. Back to pass. Rodriguez looking downfield. Going to bring the ball down and try to run for the first down. But a nice job by Middletown having nothing doing. Faison comes in with the tackle down to the 30-yard line. And Monroe Woodbury is going to be forced to punt the football.
Middletown's DBs tonight have not had a lot of work, not a lot of targets, but when it has come down to it, they're sticking to their men very well, not letting anyone get open, and letting that play downfield happen.
That was a 6-yard pickup. Big booming kick back at the 30-yard line. Off across the 40, down to the 45. Good field position for Middletown as Javion Roldan does a nice job of returning that punt.
Middletown successful on where they start the ball all night tonight. All their drives, 30 up.
I think they had one drive that started inside the 30. I think everything else has been on the positive side of 30. So 8:27 remaining in the third quarter. Middletown leads Monroe Woodbury 12-3. Final regular season game. If Middletown wins, as of right now, they would be the number 2 seed and host this very same Crusader team next week right here at Fowler. If Monroe wins, they take the top seed and they would host either Pine Bush or Kingston next week. The give to face. No, fumble on the play. Could this be a big pickup for Monroe Woodbury? 2nd down, and the Midi Bears are fortunate. They are fortunate to have fallen on the football. No gain on the play.
Middletown bailed out of that stressful situation. The ball handlers and the changing of who has it, the possession hasn't always been clean tonight. As we've seen, the handoffs, even the snaps, it's been a little messy. Those are the little things that you have to clean up. But you trust your quarterback, Anthony Russo, going in there. He's making the plays downfield, as we've seen tonight. And it's a big step through this season.
2nd and 10 for Middletown. Back to passes. Russo off the play action. Downfield, he's got Barbosa in Crusader territory at the 43-yard line, and that'll be a first down for Middletown.
The consistency of Anthony Russo and Aiden Barbosa, that's a strong connection, and it's been very successful tonight as we've seen these drives leading down the field through it.
13-yard pickup on the connection. Russo to Barbosa. 7th catch for Barbosa tonight. 1st and 10 for Middletown from the Monroe 42, looking to add to their lead. This time Graham, 10 seconds left on the play clock, lines up as a receiver on the far side. And they're going to call timeout.
Timeout, Middletown. Their first timeout of the half.
Clock is still running.
Middletown, as we've seen in previous games, they've had to use timeouts in order to negate the penalties.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 7:27. Thank you.
And as you hear in the background, clock kept running after the timeout. So 7:27. First and 10 for Middletown at the Monroe 42-yard line. They lead at 12-3 here in the third quarter.
First time they used that timeout tonight. Hopefully they can keep it that way and only have to use one, as in the second half, if Monroe does end up coming back, it might come down to that last drive of the night, and you need timeouts in that 2-minute drill. It is first and 10 for Middletown. Jelani Graham lining up far right.
They come out with the same formation. Give this time to Rodon up the middle. And he gets down to the 40-yard line. Picks up 2 on the play. 2nd and 8 for Middletown.
The use of multiple running backs has been heavy this season for Middletown. As we see Rodon, we see Rudy Cherry, we see Jelani Graham. Number 7, Rodon. Sorry about that. It's been successful, and fresh legs keep the ball moving. And tonight they haven't had to use that in particular, as the passing game has been way more successful than we've seen.
Isaac Caetano from KOT 845 letting us know that Menacing Valley leads Warwick 14-7. Warwick, the last unbeaten team in Section 9 football. Menacing took down the previous unbeaten team in Port Jervis last week. That's a mess up here. I think too many men in motion for Middletown.
False start, offense. All players were not set.
So that's going to cost the Midi Bears. These little things that you talked about, Anthony, with these penalties really put a stymie in your momentum.
Yeah, it changes the way the game is played, the flow of the game, the pace, whatever you want to call it. It gets messed up from little things like that, and it's on you. It's the little things like false start, delay a game, too many men on the field, illegal man downfield. It's those little things. You got to keep it clean, and that's how you win games. Roldan in motion.
2nd down and 13 for Middletown. They'll exchange inside handoff. Jelani Graham still on his feet, gets down near the 35-yard line. A big pickup on 2nd down, and it'll bring up a manageable 3rd down for Middletown, just short of the 35-yard line, although there is a flag. That looked to be in the secondary.
Yeah, we see Jelani Graham just muscle his way down the field.
Wonder if it's a face mask.
Face mask, defense. 5 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Good call there.
Big play. Yeah, I was wondering, you can't be holding in the secondary because there was no pass attempt. So that deep in the secondary, it's either holding downfield or a face mask. So Jelani Graham picked up 8 on the play and then gets the benefit of the face mask call, giving Middletown a 1st down after they had a 2nd and 13 on the play.
10 seconds left on the play clock here. Going to have to get to the line quick if you're Middletown.
Boy, that's awful quick after that penalty call. They didn't reset the play clock? Are they going to have to call timeout? There's a flag on the play. There's no way that was...
Offense, number 15. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
It seems like the play clock did not get reset after that penalty was
thrown. There was no way 25 seconds came off after they were set. But listen, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not wearing the stripes. So 1st and 15 now for Middletown. Back to the 35-yard line of Monroe.
Aiden Barbosa lined out wide right. One-on-one matchup here.
Cherry and Faison switch sides. Cherry on the carry. Nice job in the backfield. Jelani Graham was the lead blocker, but getting behind the block for Monroe Woodbury was number 52, Aaron Taveras, the senior defensive lineman, coming up with a big play and another 5-yard loss. And very quickly, what looked like a very positive 1st and 10 at the Monroe 30 has turned into a 2nd and 20 from the Crusader 40.
Yeah, Monroe quick to the ball there. That's exactly what you need from this defense. Still down by 9. You want to be able to stop this drive. You don't want Middletown scoring more points, extending that lead. You want to keep yourself in the game.
Russo straight back to pass, and he's going to get sacked. Number 55 for Middletown couldn't hold his block. Jamison Paz almost tried to hold him for a bit.
Yeah.
To try to protect his quarterback, but the best offense for the Crusaders has been this Middletown drive right now, going in the wrong direction.
Number 55, Kamal Saladin with the sack there, bringing it to 3rd and 29 for the Middletown offense. After such a successful start to the drive, quick change of events.
That's the 2nd sack of the night from Monroe Woodbury. Both of them 9-yard losses. And this is 3rd and forever for the Midi Bears from the Monroe Woodbury 47-yard line, 48-yard line. On the near side, safe pass, doesn't do anywhere. Did he gain possession? That's going to be an incomplete pass. They're whistling that down. It definitely was incomplete. He never had possession of that football.
Yeah, good defense to break up the pass. Quick to the ball there.
I know the Crusader fans in the stands are on their feet thinking that was a catch and fumble, but he definitely never had possession of that football.
Yeah, quick drive.
I had the binoculars on, so I know.
He sees it all. Quick drive from Middletown. What a way to stop them from Monroe. Definitely slowing down the pace of the game here with 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, we'll see if the momentum shifts on this, because it was a nice defensive stand by the Crusaders. Let's see if Faison can come away with a nice big punt here. Against the wind, it's high and short. Almost straight back down. It's like it hit a brick wall. If you ever see the movie Independence Day and the spaceship is invisible and things are hitting and dropping straight to the ground, that's what happened to that football. It hit one of those UFOs that were invisible up in the air and just fell straight to the ground.
Yeah, just up in the air. The wind just taking that not very successful punt. Great field position for this Monroe offense to start clicking if they're successful on this drive.
So the Middletown defense will need to step up once again. A little bit of a momentum shift here. Middletown had the ball 1st and 10 at the Crusader 30, and some nice defensive stops, including a big sack for the Crusaders, has now given them the football 1st and 10 at their own 45. Rodriguez continues to be the quarterback. Theokas, the tight end, in motion. Pitch on the front, number 3 for the Crusaders. What a stop. Barbosa with the big hit by the Midi Bears. Lewis Mead on the pitch, loses a yard.
Aiden Barbosa just making plays, defense and offense, as we've seen tonight. He has a touchdown, 5 catches, and about 50 yards. Very successful night for him and Anthony Russo. That connection coming at the perfect time as playoffs are rolling right around.
Flores is now the running back. Colangis not in the ball game. He's had most of the workload in this game for the Crusaders. On the far side, the pass is caught. Their best pass of the night. Rodriguez to number 1, Sol Cabasa. Is going to be enough for a Crusader first down in the Middletown territory at the 44.
These Monroe fans got to be excited about that. That's a successful throw in the passing game. That can start your momentum right back up for Monroe, keeping themselves alive in this game. Good conversion for the first down. 2 minutes 55 remaining in this third quarter.
11-yard hook up, 1st and 10. Rodriguez from the shotgun. Flores on the ground with the carry. He's got about 4. Make that 3 down to the 41-yard line.
See the offensive line of Monroe able to push the line of scrimmage almost 5 yards in front of really where it was. Could have led to a big run play, but delay handoff, still 5-yard gain, 4-yard gain.
Only the second carry of the night for number 42, Noah Flores. And the first one that's positive. Kalanja's back in, up the middle. Full head of steam. Nice carry on second down. Picked up 5 on the play. Down to the 36-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, 3rd and short. That's exactly what you want if you're on 3rd down. A lot of field to play with, still on the 44-yard line. Or 42-yard line, sorry.
Midi Bears trying to bend but not break here. Big 3rd down play, though it's probably 2-down territory here for Monroe. From the shotgun is Rodriguez. Kalanjas on the far side. He's got enough for the first down near the 30-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 31. Jelani Graham on the stop.
This offense from Monroe, it's starting to click here. We see the passing game, we see the running game. Able to convert on these first downs. Drive alive on the 31-yard line of Middletown.
5-yard pickup for Kalanjas. And now Flores is back in. The Middletown defense on its heels here, trying to see if they can come up with another stop as they lead it 12-3. Flores on the carry. Nice job that time. Number 88 for Middletown, Liam Chester, along with Chase Blackwood on the stop.
Immediate brick wall right there for Flores. Nowhere to go.
They'll give him 2 yards on the play. Down to the 29, 2nd and 8, last 35 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Middletown would like to hold on to this 2-possession lead. Rodriguez back to pass on the near side, off the hand, should have caught that. Number 81, Jose Rivera, the sophomore wide receiver, couldn't come down with the catch. It'll bring up 3rd and 8 for Monroe with 20 seconds left here in the 3rd.
Yeah, open right on that right hash. Oh, flag on the play.
And we'll see if it is holding. If the Midi Bears take it, I would suggest they do because they've got a strong kicker.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
That'll make it that much tougher for the Crusaders. All the way down to the 39-yard line. They need to get to the 21, so it'll be 2nd and 18 from the 29 for the Crusaders.
We've seen Monroe use that passing game to open up the field. Maybe we'll see that again here as it is 2nd and long.
2 receivers to the near side. Flores is the running back. Back to pass Rodriguez, and just not a good pass. He lost possession of the football as it was coming out of his hand, trying to find Cabasa, who made the big catch to get him into Middletown territory, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 18.
Really, if you're Monroe, all you need is 15 yards or maybe even 10, and you have a shot at a field goal here with their kicker.
With the wind at his back, we'll see if the coaching staff, and that gets you within a 1-possession game. So it is big with 2 missed extra points by Middletown tonight. Rodriguez going for it all, and it's incomplete, bringing up 4th down. Really never gave his receiver a chance to run the route. Had to get rid of the football a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
Yeah, closest guy in the area was Konstantinos Theokas. Just overthrown completely. Good defense, good way to stop Monroe if you're Middletown here.
And Coach Sierra choosing to play a field position game here. Their punter had a good kick last time, and now he's got the wind behind him. He's going to try to place the ball inside the 10. A low liner. See if they can stop it. And I think he could.
What a play from Monroe.
Yeah, what a job that time. Let's give a nice credit. I'm trying to get the number as he's going across the far sideline.
Looks like
Number 78 for the Crusaders, Troy Capon, one of the team captains, comes out with an outstanding play. He took a leap as the ball was about to go into the end zone for a touchback. A leap while he was still on the positive side of the field and deflected the ball back. And Middletown has the ball in a dangerous area. 1st and 10 at their own 1-yard line with 2 seconds left.
Anything can happen on offense.
Well, first of all, what you've mentioned all along, Anthony, you need to snap the football well here because they've had some trouble with that. And you wonder if Russo's just going to take the snap and just try to push.
Yeah, we've even seen in games on the goal line where Anthony Russo struggles with the ball and he just has to run it himself.
I don't even think you want to hand the ball off. You just want to run. That's what they're doing. So might have picked up a yard, but that's a big extra yard to try to get yourself some breathing room, and that's going to do it on the last play of the 3rd quarter. No scoring in that quarter. And it started off with some good positive plays for Middletown that were stymied by a couple of sacks and penalties. And then the Crusaders have now marched back and regained field position here with Middletown leading at 12-3 after 3.
Yeah, that 3rd quarter, a little defensive stand by both sides and a very stagnant game as we saw in the 3rd quarter. No scoring, like you said.
Which Middletown will take.
Yeah, Middletown will take, holding that 9-point lead for their life and the game as they want that 2nd seed. This game is very important to the playoff picture. Monroe, if they win, they will have the 1 seed. And if Middletown wins, they have the 2nd seed. And they want home field advantage where they will play Monroe if they end up winning this game next week. Going into 4th quarter, Middletown will have the ball at the 1-yard line still, with forward progress, helping Anthony Russo stay out of the end zone.
If you're the Midi Bears, what you want to try to get here is just a 1st down. Get yourself some breathing room, so if you have to punt the football, you've created some room for your punter because the punting is not a strength for Middletown, as we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and on a lot of those punt plays by both sides, Middletown and Monroe has been able to get some pressure on the punter, close to a few blocked punts.
So does Coach Trenfell have it in himself to let Russo try to throw from his end zone? Some shifting here. To give to Graham. Trying to get out of his end zone. He's at the 5, the 10, the 15-yard line, and out of bounds near the 20. And that little stutter step gets Middletown a 1st down. A big play for Jelani Graham.
That is exactly what you want for a Middletown offense. And from the coach, Tim Strenfeld, you should be excited and ecstatic that nothing happened when you were on the 1-yard line. Anthony Russo able to keep the protection of the ball. You don't want him fumbling or losing the ball, like we've seen earlier this night. Keeping it classy, keeping it perfect. Everything's...
We have an injury on the Middletown side. I believe that might be Barbosa from the number that I can tell. And it looks like it might be a cramp because they're stretching out the Middletown athletic trainer. Trainer Craig trying to stretch it out. Might be the calf for Barbosa. So 11:54. Here at Fowler Field in Middletown High School, Ed Estrada, Anthony Kovacs, Ed Diller, the producer, and the Gertech crew, bringing you all the action. They've done an outstanding job on camera tonight. So we want to thank the crew. As Barbosa comes off the field, and I do think he looks pretty good, so I think it's just a cramp. But a big 1st down for Jelani Graham, 18 yards on the play.
Good night for Middletown on both sides of the ball, defense, offense, and both aspects of their offense have been clicking much better than they have in previous games, through the air and on the ground. It's exactly what you want late in the season.
About 75 yards on the ground for Jelani Graham so far. He's the workhorse. 1st and 10, that'll keep the clock running too as soon as they snap the football. 11:54 remaining in the game. Wildcat. Graham up the middle. Kind of a rough snap that kind of messed up the play. So a nice job by the Crusaders' Ron Chambers making the stop.
Yeah, good way to read that play and pick up on that little mishap of the snap there. Getting to the ball quickly, Monroe. Trying to stay in this game. Do not want to let any scores as they're down by 9. 2-score game still. With just 11 minutes and 25 seconds remaining.
.73 yards on the ground for Jelani Graham so far tonight. 2nd and 10 for Middletown, their own 20. Russo back to pass. Looking downfield, he's got Cherry! Cherry at the 40-yard line.
Rudy Cherry with the second reception of the night. Breaking free and getting all the way to the 40-yard line of Monroe. Another successful pass play.
Beautiful pass from Anthony Russo to Rudy Cherry all the way to the Monroe 40-yard line. 40 yards on the connection.
This Middletown passing game, Anthony Russo feeling way more confident than we've seen him. Coach Tim Strenfeld has got to feel good about his quarterback tonight and going into the playoffs.
Getting hot at the right time, and if Middletown puts some points on the board here, that could do it, given the fact that the Crusaders have had a lot of trouble putting any sort of drives together offensively.
Barbosa wide out. Rudy Cherry triple out on the left.
And timeout by head coach Tim Strenfeld.
Middletown.
That'll be his second tonight.
1 timeout remaining in this 4th quarter for Middletown. Monroe with all 3. 10 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in this final quarter. This game is very important for both teams for the playoff picture. Middletown with the win would get the 2nd seed, play at home against this Monroe team next week. But if Monroe wins, they will have the 1st seed, and Middletown will have to play away.
Nine of 11 passing for Russo so far, 146 yards and a touchdown. Probably 135 because you got to actually probably 124 because you got to take away the sacks. But I don't like taking away the sacks because that's a team negative yardage play because you know your line breaks down. So really 146 yards passing for Anthony Russo tonight.
Yeah, definitely a team effort.
Only 2 incompletions, by the way.
That's great passing. It's great trust in your receivers.
There he goes again, looking downfield. Jelani Graham one-on-one. Couldn't come down with nice coverage that time by number 9 for the Crusaders. That was Nathaniel Shim, the junior defensive back, one-on-one with the Middletown running back. Graham had a step early, but I think the pass was a little bit too much air, and that kind of let the defensive back catch up.
Yeah, it looked like Jelani had to cut inside almost at the end of that route in order to even try to get a chance at that ball. A lot of pressure coming from Monroe on Anthony Russo. Had to just throw it up at that point. Good pressure. Trying to get off the field is this Monroe defense as there's only 10 minutes and 22 seconds left in this game.
There's a flag on the play and might be delay a game.
Substitution infraction. Offense, 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Middletown has it in front of them, and they can't get these penalties get in the way of these drives.
Yeah, we've seen in previous games penalties haunt Middletown over and over and over, forcing them to take timeouts, losing their drives, ending them. Tonight, it hasn't really affected them, and that's what led to such a successful offense. Middletown 2nd and 15 on the 45-yard line of Monroe.
Russo, pump fakes, throws it downfield. Barbosa! Just about 2 yards off. Otherwise, that was an easy touchdown for Middletown. Russo kind of upset with himself.
Barbosa definitely winning that route with the nice double move on 5 from Monroe.
So after I told you that he'd only had 2 incompletions, he's had 2 in a row.
They're going for that deep shot. It's a risky play, not a high percentage throw. He's getting it out of the hand quick enough, just a little overthrown.
And the incompletions, unfortunately, also stopped the clock at a time when you're up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, surprising that Middletown's not going run heavy after that nice play by Rudy Cherry starting that drive.
3rd down and 15 from the Monroe 45. Russo looking downfield, getting a big rush. Over the middle, he's got a receiver at the 35. That's Graham across the 30-yard line, and that might be enough for a first down. We'll see if there are any flags, and there is some laundry. Might be some men downfield again.
Yeah, it looks like it. The ref was pointing to one of the Middletown players downfield, talking to Rudy Cherry here.
I think he's saying the whole team was downfield.
Yeah.
I think what happened was they got caught with the extra sack attempt by Monroe, put a lot of pressure on Russo, and that delayed the play and the pass, and everybody was downfield by the time he threw it.
Eligible receiver, offense, number 62, downfield. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, you see the illegal man or ineligible man downfield a lot in football as of recent, and that's because on those screen plays or breaking down, the offensive linemen start heading down the field to continue blocking, and it's just not allowed. It's just not allowed.
So 3rd and 20 now from the 50. The Midi Bears need to get to the Monroe 30 if they want to get a first down and extend this drive. He's going to go back to pass again. Finds Cherry at the 45, the 40. Cherry out near the 36-yard line, but picks up a big chunk of change, and that's going to make 4th down manageable for Middletown if they want to go for it, or do you try to pin Monroe back deep in your own territory?
Yeah, could take the chance. Looks like Tim Strenfeld is talking to Anthony Russo about this 4th down. It is 4th and 6. Middletown's still up by 9. What is the harm in taking that 4th down? You could end up having a turnover, and if it's an incomplete pass, that does stop the clock, as most of this drive has been, with 9 minutes and 58 seconds remaining.
14 yards on that reception, 160 yards now for Russo on the night. Rudy Cherry now with 3 catches, 84 yards.
Barbosa and man lined up right.
Rolling to his right this time is Russo. Just over the outstretched arm, almost coming up with an interception, was Liam Hayes, and he had nothing but green turf in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like he might have hit that ball on the way to Barbosa, breaking up the pass.
So for the 2nd time tonight, Middletown will lose possession on a turnover of downs. And it'll be Monroe Woodbury. And really, they need to put up points on this drive with 9:52 left in the game. They're down by 2 possessions. Middletown has used 2 timeouts so far. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them a little bit, along with 2 extra points.
Yeah, those play selections later in that half of that drive for Middletown, they used a lot of passes, and it stopped the clock. Not a lot of time went off.
We'll see what that Middletown secondary is up to the challenge now. Kalangis going to run the football all the way down at the 50. He's in Middletown territory. Before he finally goes out of bounds, boy, had he been able to sidestep that, that would have been a quick score and a quick change in this ball game. But as it is, big momentum swing here.
Monroe getting exactly what they needed. Quick to the line here.
Kalangis again, same sideline, a lot of room, still on his feet. Kalangis all the way down to the 20-yard line, and on 2 plays, the Crusaders have gone 60 yards.
Quick drive here, even if it is through the running game. 9 minutes and 34 seconds remain. 2nd and 1 here for the Crusaders.
And I think Middletown's going to get caught again for encroachment.
Another one.
Encroachment. Defense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
James Rodriguez very successful tonight on baiting the defense to getting that extra 5 yards, which leads to a 1st down for Monroe.
So 1st and 5 for Monroe at the Middletown 15. And if you're the Midi Bears, bend but don't break.
Crusaders looking for points on this drive.
Kalangis up the middle again. He's got enough for a first down inside the Middletown 10 before he's stopped by Jelani Graham, gets down to the 6-yard line. A pickup of 7, and the yards keep piling on. Kalangis on the far side. Kalangis trying to get in, a big hit on the far side. Man along with number 26 for the Midi Bears. If he's smart, he'll go down to the ground and give Middletown some time here. But Prince Okoko with a big hit, and he finally does go down because it was a big hit by Okoko against Kalangis, but the ball is now marked at the 2-yard line. So 2nd and goal from the 2 after the 4-yard pickup by Kalangis.
Kalangis just using all his might and energy to keep this ball moving down the field. Doesn't matter if there's 4 people in front of him. He's going to just run right through them. It's going to take a lot of people to just stop him, stop the momentum of Monroe, which seems like has happened as they come back down onto the field for 2nd and goal.
Trying to take it himself. Rodriguez across the end zone finally puts the Crusaders into the end zone from 2 yards out. And this game just got tight.
Monroe with a successful drive for the first time since their opening drive on offense of the game. Bringing this down to a 3-point game. Extra point attempt coming up from their kicker, Matvi Butihin. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
He made 6 last week, and he's made another one here tonight. And just like that, with 8:33 remaining in the ball game, Middletown leads the Crusaders 12-10. And now all of a sudden, Middletown only has 1 timeout in the ball game, and they've missed 2 extra points. Had they made those 2 extra points, we'd still be looking at a touchdown needed instead of a field goal, and we already know that they have a really good field goal kicker.
Yeah, Middletown on offense needs to come up with a successful drive that we haven't seen since the first half. These drives have spanned a while, they've gotten down the field, but in the end, Monroe has not broken and been able to stop Middletown in very crucial moments. Middletown getting the ball back after a successful drive from Monroe, finally scoring their first touchdown all night by James Rodriguez, the quarterback.
Unofficially 130 yards on the ground on 21 carries for Nate Kalangis. Middletown will need, now Middletown's been able to drive the football all night long, but they'll need one more long drive here to try to put an exclamation point on what up until now has been a really nice evening for the Midi Bears. Short kick coming down at about the 20 on the near side and finally brought down at the 25-yard line. Good coverage by that Monroe Woodbury special teams as the ball was run back by Kayvon Harrison, and Middletown with probably one of its worst field positions to start a drive all night long.
Yeah, besides their drive starting on the 1, this is their worst field position to start a drive. Middletown has to have a successful drive here. They have been able to use the pass game, use the run game in order to drive down the field, but haven't gotten points in the second half.
1st and 10 for Middletown from their own 25-yard line.
$20 seconds on the play clock.
Crusader Nation in the stands, those who made the trip from Central Valley, chanting defense. Up the middle, nothing doing for Graham.
Just getting back to the line of scrimmage, no gain for Jelani Graham. Monroe getting to the line of scrimmage quick, in the trenches is where they need to win this game if they want to get the ball back with 8 minutes remaining.
Clock continues to run, 7:50. Not fast enough if you're a Middie fan. And they desperately need a first down here to stem this Monroe momentum. Russo back to pass off the pump fake over the middle. A big hit that time as the ball falls incomplete, intended for Garcia over the middle. He took a big hit by Shim.
Looked like a good throw from Anthony Russo there, but putting his receiver at risk for a big hit, in which we saw good defense getting to the ball at the point of contact and not getting a penalty. Stopping the clock also with 7 minutes and 34 seconds because of that pass.
3rd and 10, and the Monroe fans making some noise, their loudest of the night. Russo couldn't connect with Cherry. He thought Cherry was a little bit more upfield than he was.
Stopping the clock once again, 7.5 minutes remaining.
And more importantly for Middletown, they're forced to punt the football, not one of their strengths. Not for a lack of effort from Jaden Faison, but he's going to come in to punt the football. And the Crusaders have stationed themselves back at around their 40-yard line. You know, if the ball gets that far, Middletown's going to be quite happy. And now they start to move up at about their own 45. On the near side is Lewis Mead, and on the far side is Liam Hayes. Faison with the kick, his best kick of the night, back near the 40-yard line, and they call a fair catch. So Middletown will take that. That's the best kick that Faison's had tonight. But still good field position for Monroe.
Yeah, probably a little help from the wind there for Faison. Definitely exactly what they needed and wanted. Successful punt there, but great field position for this Monroe offense with 7 minutes still in this game. Only down by 2, one-score game. Even a field goal will take the lead. 42-yard line for Monroe. After coming off a touchdown drive, we'll see what the offense can do for Monroe if they can keep it up and get the consistency on offense that they've been familiar with this season.
Low snap handled by Kalangis on the Wildcat. Middie Bears getting a lot of help. Rudy Cherry did a nice job. Kalangis actually got a yard on the play after looking like he was going to lose 2. But a good job by Rudy Cherry defensively for Middletown.
Yeah, able to just shove Rudy Cherry off of him. Kalangis trying to be the workload of this team, which he has tonight.
And again, the hurry-up offense for the Crusaders, 2nd and 9. Kalangis, again, this time a nice job. Brought down. We're going to give one of these big guys, number 75 for Middletown, Damian Douglas, and number, looked like 80, David Suazo Castillo in to come in.
Yeah, for Monroe running that offense on hurry up.
By the way, it was 88. I'm sorry. I knew it wasn't Castillo out there. Liam Chester in on the stop. 3rd and 8 after a 1-yard pickup by Kalangis. Monroe's going to call a timeout.
Timeout, Monroe.
With the hurry-up offense from Monroe, when you're doing that offense and you're handing the ball off to the same running back over and over, he's going to get tired. That's a lot of work that he has to go through, and he's pushing through the biggest guys on the Middletown team. Takes a lot out of a guy. Timeout here. 12 to 10, Middletown leading with 6 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. 3rd and 8 for Monroe. Could be a deciding factor of this game. This is a big game Monroe and Middletown both fighting for that win.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, if Middletown can hold on here with 6:14 left in the fourth, they would finish second and host Monroe right back here next week on Friday night. If the Crusaders win, they head to Central Valley next week as the top seed to take on either Pine Bush or Kingston, as those two teams are playing up at Dietz to determine who the fourth place team will be in the playoffs. From the shotgun, Rodriguez back to pass. On the far side, Kalangis off his fingertips. Nice pass by Rodriguez, just off the fingertips. And if he could pull that one down, there was nobody left to beat.
James Rodriguez with his most accurate ball of the night, and Kalangis.
By the way, here's a gutsy call by head coach Sierra on fourth down, still in his own zone with 6:09 left. But he's going to punt the football here. And Middletown's going to be given an opportunity as long as they don't have any mistakes, or are they going to punt the football? Low liner coming down at about the 25, takes a Monroe bounce at about the 21 or 22. So 5:58, 5:57 still remaining in this ball game. Middletown, boy, we thought this would be a great game, and that's what it's turned out to be tonight, Anthony.
Yeah, the second half filled with a lot of great defensive plays, and the first half, Middletown was explosive on offense. They haven't been able to catch that same flair that they did, hoping with 5 minutes and 57 seconds to either wind that clock down tremendously or maybe get in the end zone and bring it back to a two-score game. They definitely want that 2 seed and home field advantage for another game against Monroe next week.
Middletown needs to put a drive here. It'd be nice for the running game, and there's going to be a flag on the play, and it's going to be another bad snap and a late flag that might be another personal foul.
Dead ball, false start, offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, I saw a second flag come in late, but there isn't a second call. But again, penalties for the Midi Bears here have really stymied their ability to put something together here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it looked like that second flag might have been on 55 almost. It looks like almost a chop block could have been happening. Don't know.
But they didn't call it. They picked it up.
Yeah, no call. But penalties, like you said, have definitely messed with the fluidity of this offense for Middletown.
Bad snap. Russo still with the football, and he's going to go down. Got enough to lose. He lost another 4 yards on the play, and these last two offensive possessions for Middletown, they've gone in the opposite direction.
Yeah, been very messy for Middletown these last two drives, like you just said. And they need to get on the same page like they've been any other time this game. They've been successful on offense through the air and on the ground. Maybe if they can get back into that same gear, you'll see some success.
2nd and 18 for Middletown from their own 14-yard line. And remember, from a field position standpoint, Monroe has a very good field goal kicker. Jelani Graham on the near side gets tripped up. Nice job by number 14. Liam Hayes preventing what would have been a big gainer for Jelani Graham had he just avoided that last shoestring tackle by Hayes.
Yeah, he tried to get to the edge, almost quick enough, but a great shoestring tackle, like you said. Good play by this Monroe defense. They've definitely stepped it up in the second half, bringing the intensity, going to the ball quick. Haven't let up any points in the second half.
2-yard pickup for Jelani Graham, but a long third down and about 16 yards. They need to get to the 32-yard line to extend this drive. And Middletown just looking for a big play. Back to pass. Russo looking downfield. And he throws it towards the ground. Incomplete.
Lewis Mead with the pass breakup there. Bring up fourth down for Middletown. in their own territory where Faison tonight has struggled punting.
Though his last punt was his best.
Holding. Offense, number 66.
And
penalty is declined.
I'm stunned that he declined this penalty because the extra 10 yards could have been big here from a field position standpoint. Faison would have been kicking deep in his own end zone. And with 4:10 left, it wasn't an issue of time. So I'm a little surprised the Crusaders didn't take that penalty.
If you look at the goalposts, the wind is a little slower and lighter now, but for Middletown, they're hoping that the wind will take effect and blow this ball down the field.
Punt returners are at the 50-yard line. It's a high kick coming down at a fair catch at the Middletown 43.
Very good field position for this Monroe team.
They're almost in field goal position now for their kicker, the freshman, Matvi Butihin, who's made, I know he made 6 extra points last week, and he's made his extra point today, and he's also made a 36-yard field goal. So if you use the 36-yard marker, that means that they'd have to get to about the 19-yard line in order to attempt another 36-yarder.
In this circumstance, you got to take a fact, the wind will be blowing against him. So might have to get closer.
Midi Bears trying to see if they can turn over Monroe. Kalangis on the near side, trying to double back on the far side. He's got a lot of room. A missed tackle by Middletown as number 26 came up to try to make the stop. That was Prince Akoko and ended up grabbing a lot of air. Kalangis gets the ball all the way down to the 38-yard line.
Kalangis.
Pick up a 5.
Being shifty, trying to make something out of nothing there.
Rodriguez from the shotgun. Again, Kalangis at the 30-yard line. Kalangis towards the end zone. Kalangis gets in for the Crusader touchdown.
And what a turn of events for Monroe. Kalangis putting the team on his back with over almost 200 yards this game, rushing, and scores and takes the lead for the Crusaders.
On his 25th carry, .170 yards and a touchdown from 33 yards out now for Nate Kalangis. And now the Crusaders, I believe, are going to try for a 2-point conversion here. Still a lot of time, but now we talk about the fact that Middletown only has 1 timeout left. We mentioned it earlier. Back to pass is Rodriguez. Brings it back down, and he's not going to be able to get this 2-point conversion. So Middletown has it in front of him.
Middletown just swarming on that 2-point conversion. Only down by 4. Need to score with 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining. Like we said, 1 timeout. They need a successful drive here, which they have not been able to get in the second half, with this Crusader defense tightening up and letting up no points as of now.
So 3:16 remaining here in this ball game. The Crusaders take a lead, their first one that they've had since the first quarter, 16-12. They've put up a couple of scores here in the fourth quarter after no one scored in the third, and really a couple of mistakes by Middletown penalty-wise. But the Midi Bears have got to put back in their frame of mind that they were moving the football in this ball game, with the exception of the fourth quarter, and see if they can put a drive together here with 3:16 remaining.
Yeah, 13 unanswered points by Monroe. Middletown, they got to play with some confidence. They know that they can drive the ball down the field. They just can't let the little things like the penalties and the delay of games and timeouts, they can't let that distract them. As here comes the kickoff.
Coming down near the 23-yard line at the 25, the 30, the 35, and near 40-yard line, a good return for Middletown. And like we saw earlier in this ball game, the Middie Bears will have a good field position to start this, what will likely be their last drive of the ball game.
3:11 remaining on their 40-yard line.
So we've really, Anthony, tonight we've seen two stars. For Monroe, Nate Kalangis, and he responded with a touchdown. Now we'll see what Anthony Russo does, who's so far been the MVP for Middletown on offense tonight.
Yes, had a very successful game through the air. A way better and way more consistent than we've seen throughout the season. And if he can capitalize on it, make an explanation point for tonight.
3:11 remains in this ball game. Middletown with only one timeout. There's trail it by 4. Jelani Graham across the 45-yard line. A good gainer. It's going to give him 5 yards on the play. And Middletown this time will try to hurry up a little bit themselves.
This game is 16-12, and that is with the help of Nate Kalangis, like you said, who has been the MVP for the Crusaders tonight. Middletown 2nd and 4 on the 45.
On the near side, still on his feet into Monroe territory, bowling people over is Jelani Graham. Middletown sideline wanting a flag. I don't see one, but nevertheless, from the 45-yard line, that ball is marked at the Monroe 40 for a pickup of 15.
With that run, Jelani Graham looks like he's just running with anger. He knows his team has been so much more successful than this Crusaders team tonight, and I don't think he thinks that they should be losing right now.
And he got out of bounds, too, so that stopped the clock. 2:30 remaining. 1st and 10, Middletown at the Monroe 40. They trail by 4. Graham, again, on the far side, cuts it back in. This time ahead of steam. And Jelani Graham looked a little tired on that last carry. Probably needed a breather, but they hope to get these players off the pile here. No gain on the play.
2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Middletown. They need to be successful on this drive. They will not have a chance with the ball again. They haven't given up any of those big mistakes that we've seen tonight. They've had some fumbles like we've seen in this drive. You need to be perfect. You can't let any little thing mess you up.
95 yards on the ground for Graham. Clock running, 1:40 left, 2nd and 10. Graham again on the inside. Not going to get much, and I think Middletown's going to have to throw the football here, and they might even have to call a timeout. 1:29 remaining. 1 yard pickup for Graham. He's got 96 on 21 carries.
Yeah, time is running thin here. 1 timeout for Middletown. They are going to have to air this ball out on 3rd and 8. Running the ball over and over, same ball carry. He's going to get tired, like I said on that hurry up. Nate Kalangis, you see him drop the pass when I said that. And now, Jelani Graham has got to be winded a little bit. Anthony Russo trying to make something happen.
To determine who is the 1 seed, who is the 2 seed. Russo back to pass over the middle. He's got a receiver right at the 30-yard line. That'll stop the clock. It'll be a Middletown first down. Barbosa on the catch, 9 yards on the catch and throw. And now the clock starts running again. 1st and 10 Middletown at the Monroe 30. They trail by 4. 42 seconds remaining in this ball game. Back to passes Russo. Big head of steam. Russo gets away. He's going to try to run towards the sideline and does at about the 22-yard line. Nice job by Anthony Russo, shedding the would-be sacker and then getting out of bounds to stop the clock with 31 seconds left.
Anthony Russo using those legs. We have not seen a lot of that tonight. That previous play, Aiden Barbosa and that Anthony Russo connection coming up successful on a big 3rd down, leading this drive. 2nd and 3, 31 remaining on the 22-yard line of Monroe.
20 seconds left on the play clock, 31 on the game clock. Middletown trails by 4. 2nd and 2 from the 22-yard line. Jelani Graham to the right of Russo. Russo back to pass again. Big rush, throws it over the middle, and it's intercepted by the Crusaders. A big head of steam by that front line of Monroe Woodbury put pressure on Russo, and he just threw up what looked like a mini Hail Mary, and there was nobody there but Crusaders.
The pressure of Monroe leads Anthony Russo into an interception. Monroe's defense coming up big in the second half.
So a devastating end to this ball game for the Midi Bears. They can hold their head high, though. It was a gallant effort by Middletown Blue. Just too many mistakes in the second half.
After the interception, personal foul, number 5, Middletown. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So unfortunately, a 15-yard personal foul penalty by Barbosa of Middletown. That's going to add 15, but really the game, for all intents and purposes, is over as Middletown only has one timeout to stop the clock. And 2 touchdowns by the Crusaders in the fourth quarter, the difference tonight.
What a surge of offense by the Crusaders, and their defense being able to step up definitely has to give that offense the boost that was needed to bring them the W tonight. And James Rodriguez, in winning formation, takes the knee. And that will run the clock out as the Crusaders take the 1 seed in their division. And Middletown takes the 3 seed. 4-point win, 16-12 here at Fowler Field for Monroe. Great game tonight by Anthony Russo. Stepped up, one of his best games all season. Him and Aiden Barbosa with a great connection, as we saw. They hooked up for 1 touchdown. Nate Kalangis from Monroe with a great performance, 170 yards of rushing. Had a great touchdown at the end of the game in the fourth quarter to bring the lead back to the Crusaders for the first time since the first quarter and their opening drive on offense. The playoffs will start next week for Section 9 as this game has concluded. Monroe and Middletown. Monroe will go to 8-1, 4-1 in the division, and Middletown will fall to 3-6 and 3-2 in the division.
So we do ask our fans to be aware of what's going on in the news media. There was some issues with the Newburgh program, so we're not sure if Newburgh will decide to play in the playoffs or not, but as of right now, we are anticipating they will. And with the Monroe win tonight, as Anthony probably just went over, they finish as the top seed no matter what. You can't take that away from the Crusaders. They moved to 8-1 on the season, 4-1 in divisional play. The Mini Bears dropped to 3-6 overall, 3-2 in divisional play. Middletown will now finish third, and they'll have a date in a familiar place. Every year they end up going to Newburgh Free Academy as we present our most valuable players for Monroe Woodbury. It was Nate Kalangis. It was Nate Kalangis from beginning to end.
All the way, yeah. No doubt about it. What a dominant performance by the running back on defense and on offense.
Yep, 170 yards on the night on 25 carries, including that his last carry of the night, 33 yards for a touchdown. That was the difference in this ball game. And for Middletown, number 15, Jelani Graham, a really nice, solid ball game. Second week in a row for Graham. He had an outstanding game last week at Pine Bush. 21 carries unofficially, 96 yards, including a 19-yard score for the Midi Bears. So Middletown ends up falling short on this one. They had the lead for most of the game until that fourth quarter. Anything else to say, Anthony, tonight?
It was a great night for football. A great game was played. Section 9 playoffs coming next week. It should be exciting.
So stay tuned for 845 Sports Nation. Next week, the playoffs start. Section 9 football in AA, Middletown at Newburgh, and either Pine Bush or Kingston, as the winner, as those two teams squared off at Dietz tonight, will be at Monroe Woodbury down in Central Valley, with the final in 2 weeks up at Dietz Stadium between one of these two teams. A gallant effort by the Midi Bears falls short. For Ed Estrada, Anthony Kovacs, Ed Diller, and your Gertag crew from Fowler Field, your final score, Monroe Woodbury 16 and the Midi Bears 12. Have a great night.